All right, so welcome to our Engineering in Sorrento, Italy info session for 2024. Oops, go back. So Kyle and I will be your main presenters today. So if you don't know me already, my name is Tiffany Coleman. I'm an advisor coordinator here at International Programs in Engineering. So I'll be kind of your primary contact here on the UM-IPE side of things. So I'll be handling a lot of like your application steps, getting you enrolled, and then also kind of helping you as we sort of hand you off to CIS in Santana, who will be taking over a lot of like the big logistical things like your housing, doing your course registration, if you're doing the practical work experience, anything like that. And then I'll have Kyle introduce himself. He's joining us as well.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. Kyle Cox here, University Relations Director for CIS Abroad. It's a real pleasure to be meeting with you all today virtually. And let me say congratulations on your big win earlier this week. Just happy to be a partner with the University of Michigan, trying to get you Wolverines overseas. We at CIS Abroad, we work quite closely with folks in kinesiology, folks in nursing, and of course, IPE as well. So really excited to talk to you all today about another amazing opportunity to go abroad.
Yes, and then we're also joined right now by Serena from the Santana Institute. Serena, if you want to introduce yourself real quickly.
Sure. Hi there, everyone, and thank you for inviting me tonight. My name is Serena Vacca. I'm the Director of Study Abroad at Santana Institute. I will be more than happy to talk a little bit about our program and our location, our school, and I look forward to meeting you all in Toronto this summer.
All right, thank you. Yes, we're so excited that you were able to join us, and thank you, Serena. I know that the time difference, it's quite late in Italy, so we appreciate your time.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. So first, we'll start with a quick overview. I know it can be a little hard to see the pictures, so I'll just move the Zoom screen. So for summer 2024, you probably already saw a lot of this information on the website, but we'll just review real quickly here. So the program dates, you'll arrive May 26th with a departure scheduled for August 3rd. So it'll take up a good chunk of your summer there. It'll be about 10 weeks. Program cost, the cost has been set at $13,365 for this summer. And we'll talk a bit more later on about what that program cost all includes. Housing options, which we'll also get into housing a little bit more further on, but there'll be a shared bedroom either in a dormitory at the Santana Institute or in an apartment very close by. And then the final application deadline. So I believe most of you joining us have already applied and been accepted, but if you haven't already, the final app deadline will be February 8th by 11:59 p.m. I'll pass it over to Kyle just to introduce a little bit more about CIS Abroad, which is the provider for your program.
Sure. Thank you so much. We at CIS Abroad, we're all individuals whose lives have been changed by international education. And so we work hard every day to provide opportunities for students here in the US to have that same life-changing, incredible experience overseas that we've learned to value so much. You'll see there in that picture, that's most of our team outside of our main office in East Hampton, Massachusetts. And we've been working for the past 22 years to get about 3,000 students a year on average on some of our amazing programs in several different countries around the globe. We care a lot about being a leader in best practices in the field, and so you'll see some of our recognitions and accreditations there on the slide. We're just excited to be able to provide this great opportunity with our partners at Santana for you students to go get some awesome engineering credit overseas.
Yes, awesome. And here at IPE, we've been working with CIS. This is our second year. This is the second time we've done this specific program in Sorrento, and everyone had really great things to say about CIS and their experience with the staff. So you'll be in really good hands throughout this whole process, and then while you're abroad in Sorrento as well.
Yeah, and so here in this picture, you see where the Santana Institute is located. We are literally on the sea, just a few steps from the fishing village of Marina Grande. So students really get to experience the local beach in between classes. And here you can also see some pictures of our classrooms and common areas. Later on, you will also see our residence hall with bedrooms and shared apartments and where what your accommodation will look like. We offer study programs in partnership with CIS Abroad and both for semester and short-term and summer programs in a variety of departments. And we try to really offer students the best international experience possible. So really students, you guys will get to live in Italy and experience a lot of cross-cultural and communication skills, and we will try to provide you with greater opportunities in experiencing not only the culture but also the people in the community here in Sorrento. So it would really be the experience of a lifetime. And just like Kyle said, what like the passion that drives us really comes from the fact that most of the staff had study abroad experiences in the past. Myself, I studied abroad in England, and from there, really wanted to help other students have the same experience that I had, and that's why we are so passionate about what we do for our students. So we really look forward to meeting you all. I think in the next slide.
Okay. All right. So next we'll get into some of the program options. So you probably saw this really kind of convoluted table on the IPE website. So I'll break it down a little bit for you in case there's any questions left. So there's going to be kind of 2 sessions happening over the course of your 10 weeks in Sorrento. There's a session 1 and a session 2. For those of you who are doing the Physics 240 class, that Physics 240 class is going to last the entirety of those 10 weeks. So you don't have to worry about physics being shoved into just 5 weeks. You'll have the full 10 weeks to do your physics course in the lab. However, your non-technical courses, those are going to be happening in one of the 2 sessions, and those will all last for just one of the 5 weeks each. And then the respective amount of credits will just depend on the number of non-technical courses that you choose to take in relation along with your Physics 240 course. For those of you who are doing the work experience plus the micro-credential, that'll also kind of span over the course of the entire 10 weeks, especially the micro-credential work. That'll start kind of as soon as you hit the ground running in Sorrento, whereas depending on your work experience, which we'll get into a little bit more later, that'll kind of be concentrated a bit more in the last 5 weeks, but depending on where you're placed, it could leak over into the first half as well. And then, of course, if you're choosing one of the options that does not involve Physics 240, very similar format. You'll either take a couple of non-technical courses in each session, or you'll do your work experience plus 1 or 2 of those non-technical courses. Any questions about the program options? We can also talk about it more at the end too. But yes, it is also important to note that you're not married to the program.
Right.
Hi, Caroline.
Sì, pure non c'avevo.
Caroline, do you mind muting yourself super quick?
Mike. Michael.
As I was saying, so you're not married to any of the program tracks that you choose, like on your application. You'll have the option to change if you decide that you don't want to take physics anymore, you do want to take physics, or you want to opt out of the work experience. So you'll have an opportunity to do like your official registration later down on the line. So don't worry if you pick something and then you decide to change your mind later. All right, and then I'll hand it over to Santana to talk a little bit more about the physics course. So as I mentioned, you will be taking Physics 2 plus a lab for a total of 5 credits. And then those are the UM prerequisites, which all of you have taken already or in the process of taking. And then these are the 2 faculty members, Paulo and Gennaro, who will be leading the physics course. I don't know, Caroline or Serena, if you want to talk a little bit
maybe
more.
Tiffany, if you can jump to the slides about the practicum, and then as soon as Marco gets in, it's gonna talk about the course a little bit.
Awesome, yeah, no problem.
Caroline is gonna talk about the internship.
Got it. So we'll jump past the technical course for now, and then we'll go into your practical work experience, which Carolyn, who just joined us, she'll be kind of the director for that experience and helping place you if you're interested in the practical work experience, which is option B or D. So I'll hand it over to her.
Karen, you're muted. Not sure what is wrong with Karen, but I can talk in her place. So basically, the practical work experience is really like an internship in the field, and it combines the hours at the internship placement with hours that are on site at Sant'Anna with our internship coordinator. Basically, it's like a guided practicum, and it includes a variety of workshops as well at Sant'Anna. Students that decide to take this guided practicum are supposed to end in additional requirements and additional papers when they apply, because we will need to make sure that we match them with the best placement based on their needs. And so basically students that are interested in this option will meet via Google Meet or Zoom with our internship coordinator Caroline, that I'm not sure she may have an issue with her connection, but after we realized this interview with the internship coordinator, where she's gonna understand and explain better how the project work and understand better the students' need, we will match the student with a local business, which is generally around Sorrento, in Sorrento, or in nearby. So a place and a business that can be reached by public transport. And before actually getting to Sorrento, the students will receive the confirmation of their placements, and also a list of possible projects that they may be working on while in Sorrento. So before the start of the program, students will have full knowledge of what they will be doing here. Also, they will know their approximate shifts. Of course, their working hours will not conflict with the hours that they are with the course. Students will also participate in an orientation session at the beginning of the program. So along with the general orientation that all students take part in too, student intern will also attend a specific internship, a specific practicum orientation session at the beginning of the program. Where again they will go over their projects, any type of uniform if they have to wear any, again the shift that they will be doing, and also the requirements and cultural and professional expectations of the internship experience. And Sant'Anna staff will accompany them during their first meeting with their employers at the beginning of the program, to get acquainted with the business, to understand how to get there in the case they need public transport. And we will always be there to assist and support the student during all stages of the internship. In total, students are supposed to complete 10 hours per week in this practicum, so a total of 50 hours, because this practical work experience is supposed to be either in summer 1 or in summer 2, so for 5 weeks only, in addition to the online curriculum that they have to complete for U-Michigan requirements. If you can go to the next slide, please, Tiffany. Oops. The next one as well. And so students have two options. They can either choose a practicum that it's linked to the engineering field. So these are some of the placements and some of the departments where students were placed into: mechanical engineering, naval and marine engineering, it's next slide, Tiffany. Business in the e-commerce, electric and computer engineering, supply chain, robotics. So examples of placements that we had with 2023 students last year, where one of the most popular and appreciated placement was at Villa Azzurra, which is a rehab center that is located in the suburbs of Naples. And so students used to take the train to reach this place. And it's a rehab center for children with autism and diversely able children, where they use robotics for some of their therapies and their rehabilitation. And so students were able to work with these robots and with the staff at Villa Azzurra that took care of these robotic therapies. And then another example of placement for 2023 students from Michigan was computer engineering at a local photo store in Sorrento. So very different location and very different projects that they were working on, but were more linked to also the course that they were taking. If you go to the next slide, please. There were also other students that were doing a different type of internship that was not specifically linked to engineering. For example, in gender studies or anthropology, archaeology, art, culture, photography, museum and galleries. And so these are, again, some examples of the possible internship and the possible work experiences that we have offered to these students. And actually, when you have your first meeting via a Google Meet with our internship coordinator, you can talk better about your expectation, your requirements, and she can give you an idea of what your internship may look like based on the type of, experience that you're looking for. I
Yes.
think, yes. You can go to the
And
next
just-
slide, please, Tiffany.
Yes.
And so students that participate into our program can choose, as Tiffany mentioned, also some of the courses taught by some of the other courses taught by our faculty in our other departments. So history and art, humanities, natural and social sciences, and so on. And since we give a lot of importance to experiential learning, it is important to know that a big part and a big component of each class is actually outdoors on site, not on the books. So, for example, the archaeology class includes a variety of trips in Pompeii, Herculaneum, the Archaeological Museum of Naples, and all the relevant sites for archaeology. The volcanology class, go and climb Mount Vesuvius. Marine biology, go and visit the marine protected area of Punta Campanella, which is located very close to Sorrento. The zoological station, they go and see turtles that are born. And so, again, the importance of the experiential learning that we give into our classes. And these would make about 1/3 of the contact hours for each class. And of course, everything is included in the program fee. You don't have to pay an extra fee to participate in this type of activities. Along with that, we offer an array of extracurricular activities that are both cultural to get you acquainted with the area. So, for example, the island of Capri, the Amalfi Coast, because Sorrento is located in a very strategic location where you find so many islets around. Again, the 3 islands in the Gulf, which are Capri, Ischia, and Procida, the beauty of Naples, the archaeological sites of Pompeii and Herculaneum. So it will really be there will really be plenty to see and do during your time in Sorrento. And along with that, we have a very active student life staff that will organize a variety of activities both at Sant'Anna and outside. So, for example, we offer activities linked to the gardening club, the soccer club, or the arts and crafts. So each day we will offer activities in order for the students to get involved in the community and with the others, with the other members of our Sant'Anna community. If you can go please to the next slide, Tiffany.
So that's me. And piggybacking on what Serena just said, we want you to study, of course, but you're studying abroad. So we want you to get that experience living the local life. And so we at CIS Abroad, we actually have what we call our local life culture series that's part of your time overseas. It'll be led by our site director, who in Sorrento, I believe, is my colleague Frankie,
Yes.
who's yes. One day I'm going to meet Frankie in person. We've spoken many times. But never,
It is great.
yeah, I hear great things.
Everyone loves him.
Absolutely. And so Frankie will be there to help guide you on some of our own excursions, some opportunities to get out into Sorrento and experience local culture. Take part in some activities that'll combine good energy group challenges with focused cultural experiences and encounters to help you to reflect on some really important themes from your time overseas, to help you create a dialogue around issues in the local environments, to share your experiences and observations amongst each other as fellow students, to engage, of course, with the local community, to compare your experience being home and your time being in the United States with your time being in another country, and get that feel for what it means to be an American abroad. So we want you to increase your experience of culture and cultural differences in particular, to get you to have this organized way you can process your thoughts and your experiences, to challenge yourselves as you understand more of what you're seeing, you're feeling, you're perceiving from your time overseas. Here you see in the photo students on a pizza making course, as well as a few students fishing, because fishing, of course, is a big part of the culture and commerce in a seaside village like Sorrento. We want to provide you with these amazing opportunities to get there and live that local life.
Yeah, so that's me again. So students will have the chance of choosing between two outing options, which you see here in this picture. The first one here on the left is our residence hall. So on our main campus, on the upper 3 floors of the building, we have spaces and rooms for about 80 students. All of our bedrooms are either single, double, or triple bedrooms with an ensuite bathroom, so private bathroom just for the people in that bedroom. Towels and beddings are provided. Of course, all rooms come with AC and Wi-Fi connection. We also have a mini fridge along with, of course, a wardrobe and desks and chair in each bedroom. And your room will either face the garden or the water. So both sides, I promise you, both sides are super nice. And we also have a big common kitchen area with 8 fully equipped cooking stations for you to be able to prepare your own food. So equipped with a microwave, oven, super big fridges, and all the utensils that you will need. We also have a laundromat space with coin-operated washing machine and dryers. And again, Wi-Fi and air conditioning are available in the whole building. The residence hall is supervised 24/7 by during the day by morning staff and also with the night guardian. The other options for students that prefer to live off campus is shared apartments in town. Again, they're spread all around Sorrento, but always at a walking distance to the school, generally no more than 15 to 20 minutes walking. Shared apartments will have the same features as our residence hall, so double and triple bedroom with a bathroom to be shared among the people in their apartments, and a common space with a fully equipped kitchen, Wi-Fi, AC, and washing machine. We are currently also in the process of offering a new type of accommodation, which would be another residence hall off campus, which will not have full equip the kitchen for you to prepare your meal, but we'll offer a meal plan. So that's another option for students that are not really into cooking but still want to experience the Italian cuisine, and so buy your own breakfast and dinners at your residence or place. And all this place will also have a laundromat and again Wi-Fi and AC, which will be included in any of the accommodation that you choose. We
Yes.
try to stick to your preference, and upon application, you will also be able to express some roommate preferences. However, of course, it will be, especially the residence hall, which has a limited availability, will be offered on a first arrived, first served basis. But in general, we're able to satisfy all students' requests.
Yes, and I would also note, if you are living like in the apartment, some of them can be like older buildings, so don't necessarily expect like fancy, like high-rise type buildings. They will be older, so rooms might be of varying sizes. You might experience, some maintenance issues, but you'll also have a landlord that you can contact in the event that you do need help with like maintenance or anything like that in the apartment.
Correct. You will also have, of course, a phone number of our emergency phone number that it's available 24/7 should you have any issues in shared apartments. But of course, compared to the residential, you will not have a night guardian. And also, these apartments are located in public buildings where, I mean, it's not all in the same buildings, but they're spread around town. So you will have Italian neighbors on the floors above and below you. I think you can go to
Alright.
the next slide. Yeah.
Yes, so I'll talk briefly about like some scholarships and grants and funding opportunities. So first big one is the College of Engineering Go Global Fund. So this is a scholarship fund you don't have to apply for. There's no separate like application process or anything for it. All students who commit to IPE programs are automatically considered for this opportunity. And it's based on a couple different factors. So if you're a first generation student, if you're a first time traveler, we also take a look at like your FAFSA, so like your demonstrated financial need. And the Go Global Fund is usually used to kind of fill any holes or gaps that financial aid maybe didn't cover when they packaged you. So that is you're automatically considered for, and we usually announce those awards a bit later in the semester, closer to when financial aid drops, usually like around March, maybe April, is when those awards are announced. We do also have Office of Student Affairs, which is downstairs in this building. They have a first generation or middle income undergrad experiential learning award. And these are really neat. They do them, you can apply once a month. They have a cycle every month. I think the one for January just passed, but there will be a February deadline you could also potentially apply for. And those are opportunities to get like some extra funding on top of any other financial aid or scholarships you might have. IPE does also have paid blogger positions. So after everyone confirms at the end of February, you'll get an email from our marketing coordinator, Katie, about the opportunity to apply for our blogging positions. So these are paid hourly positions, and usually over the course of the summer, it amounts to maybe around like $350, $400. So it's meant to kind of give you a little bit of pocket money that you can use while you're actually like there in the summer, and you post weekly blogs just about your experience. And then if you go to our website, you can also see kind of some examples of like what past bloggers did. They're really cool. And then there's also external scholarships. So if you go on our website and go to the funding page, there's a list of both other University of Michigan scholarships, but also like third-party scholarships that you could apply for in the event that you need a little bit of extra money on top of any potential financial aid. And those all kind of have varying deadlines. So say you just have to kind of do your own research to find out what the application process for those are like. But one I usually recommend for students is called Fund for Education Abroad. That one's really cool because when you apply, they consider you for like a wide variety of different scholarships. So it's just one application to get considered for a lot of different funding opportunities. But those are just an example of a couple of things that you potentially apply for to help you offset some costs. And then of course, you can always work with the financial aid office as well to get a better idea of what kind of grants or loans you might be eligible for through them. And then just a bit about the application process and the timeline here. So now you're kind of in this stage where you're working with me, your IP engineering advisor, and applying online through Compass and our portal. And then after that, we'll sort of, once everyone is confirmed, we'll give all of your information to CIS. And they'll work with you to get you uploaded into their portal. And there'll be some additional steps you have to take with them just to finish your enrollment and registration. At this stage is when you'll complete the housing application that Serena was talking about earlier. This is also when you'll finalize your course registration. And then after that, you will go abroad. So there's a lot of steps to get there, but it looks kind of simple when you look at it on this timeline. And then I know Marco joined us. Would you like us to go back to talk about the physics course?
Here I am. Sorry for my delay. You know, sometimes we have some transportation issues here in our area. Anyway, hi students, thank you very much for coming to this session and getting information about Sant'Anna and our summer programs. Yes, in this slide you see our two physics faculty, Gennaro Longobardo and Paolo Iacarino. They are two PhD students in engineering. So last summer they had a very strong and very high success with the students from UM-IPE that attended our program. Anyway, here you see the option A and B. In this option we have physics 2 with lab for 5 credits in total, 4 credits for physics 2 in itself and 1 credit for the lab. In total, they include 75 hours, 60 for the course and 15 for the lab. The title of the course, of course, is Physics 2, but focuses, as you know, on thermodynamics and electricity, following the same format and the same pattern and regulation provided by UM-IPE. So you read the information about the other classes that are considered acceptable as requisites, so physics 140, 160, and so on. Next slide, please.
Yes.
Obviously, if you have any questions for me.
Yes, any questions for Marco about the physics course? The students last year.
Sorry, some more details about the scheduling. So we say the 75 hours in total, so more or less they are 7.5 hours per week, because you know our program includes 10 weeks, and these 7.5 hours are organized in 3 lessons per week. So more or less 2.5 hours per day. We'll try to organize our classes just between Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Friday. In this way, students will be able to travel more easily and stay outside also Monday or Friday, depending on the scheduling. We'll be able to provide more information about the scheduling, I think, in April. More or less.
Great, thank you. And yes, as I was mentioning, the students last year had like nothing but great things to say about the physics professors. They loved the class. It was really engaging. They're also really open to feedback. So don't be intimidated about taking physics 2 in a different location. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll have really great faculty and staff to help support you in the process. And as Marco mentioned, you'll be pretty much doing identical things that learning identical topics that you'd be learning at physics 2 here at UM-IPE. So you don't have to worry about not being prepared for like your next classes or anything like that. The content will make sure that you're fully prepared for those next steps once you come back to campus.
And also, one of the most significant experience last year was, maybe you know that, was to visit one of the most important research centers we have in Italy, in southern Italy, but in the entire country, focusing on working on aerospace and aeronautics. It's a very important center located in our region, and we were able to take our students last summer. I was there with the students and 2 professors and meet with the engineers and scholars and scientists working on this center, in this center. So it was a very interesting experience for our students.
Yes, So there's, like they mentioned, there's experiential aspects as well. So you're actually learning outside, like in the country. You're not just going to be stuck in your classroom for those 10 weeks. So that's another element that kind of makes this a little bit more special. So we talked
Also,
about the
as far as, sorry, if I,
No, go ahead.
if I may, as far as the exams, obviously they are organized in the same way as in the United States, and it's very interesting to take this course with our faculty because they are engineers for sure, essentially, and also they are PhD students, and they are more or less 28, 29, so very young and with an age very close to our students. So they are faculty, but also they can be mentors and friends, and it's a strong part of the cultural experience, I think. Thank you for letting me add that.
Yes, no, thank you, Marco. We appreciate
My
your
pleasure.
insight. All right. So next, I'll talk a little bit more, as promised, about what's included in your program fee. So that program fee total is up top there. So that includes your tuition for all of the courses you take. No matter which program track you choose, the program fee will remain the same. And then it also includes our required health insurance. So you'll have full comprehensive health insurance the entire time you're abroad. And then that also includes all of your orientation fees as well. So you'll have a required IPE pre-departure orientation that will hold in March, and then you'll also have some orientation activities once you arrive in Sorrento. It also includes your housing fees, so you don't have to pay separate fees for any of the housing options. And as Serena mentioned, all those housing options will be like the same price, so that won't affect your price either. And it'll also include airport pickup and drop off at the end of the program. So you'll fly into Naples, you'll fly out of Naples, and the Santana staff will be there to kind of help you as you're getting to your accommodation to Sorrento. And then, as I mentioned, it'll also include your on-site orientation as well as some welcome and farewell events. Also, the excursions, like Serena was talking about, that are included both not only in your classes, but the Santana staff will also organize some extra activities and excursions for you. You'll also get a discount card for some local shops and restaurants. And then your program fee also includes the wonderful support from the CIS Abroad staff. So they can help you before, during, and after your program. And then it also includes the local life cultural program. And then if you are doing your practical work experience, you'll get that micro credential included as well. So I know the price tag can be a little bit intimidating, but it does include quite a bit of things. And then, as they said, there's also like kind of trips and excursions. So really you can see quite a bit of Italy without having to pay anything extra outside of this price.
If
All
I
right.
can jump in real quick, Tiffany.
Yes.
My colleague, Kayla Weiss, is our program enrollment coordinator for students who are going on Sorrento programs. And so as soon as that handoff happens and we start working on your applications from our end at CIS Abroad, Kayla is going to be your go-to person with all of your questions about that transition and getting ready to go overseas. Kayla wanted to be here on the meeting today. She sends her regards. She's a very important person. A lot of students want to go to Sorrento, so she gets pulled in a lot of directions these days. And since I was here, she went to another engagement. But if you have any questions, her email is kweiss, KWEISS @cisabroad.com. And she's happy to answer any questions you might have as you're getting ready for that side of the application phase.
Yes, and I can share Kayla's information as well. She's super awesome. She actually spent last summer in Sorrento, so she knows a ton about the program. She was with the students for a lot of time, so she's a really great resource as well. And you'll start hearing more from her as you sort of move along in the application process. All right. So I'll go ahead. I'll stop the recording here, and then we'll get to some questions.